All right, I'm back with another one. The final episode of Obiwan Kenobi. We finally get to see the conclusion of this story in the Star Wars, in the Star Wars legacy, I guess you could say. Obi-Wan is drawn into a confrontation with Vader as Luke's fate hangs in the balance. Cut it out, really. Was Luke ever really in danger? No, he wasn't. Like, we know Luke goes on to A New Hope and on to the first trilogy. Come on now. Like, we know nothing gonna happen to Luke, just like we know what nothing gonna happen to Layla. Okay, but right off to the beginning, man. We not right off to it. Let's get right to it, man. To that epic fight, the epic battle. It was Anakin versus Obi-Wan Part 2. It's like a continuation of the Sith. Of the fight in Revenge of the Sith. At the end of Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan and Anakin duke it out. And we saw Obi-Wan got the betterment of that one. And it looks like in part 2, Obi-Wan is still too strong. When Obi-Wan is at his full strength with the Force, who can beat him? Who could beat Obi-Wan Kenobi in his prime? I don't know. Can somebody say in the comments, like, who could beat Obi-Wan Kenobi in his prime? I don't know anybody that could probably touch him. And I like the scene in the fight. It was a great fight scene. Well choreographed, great graphics. I loved it. But I like the part where I like the symbolism. Like the part where Luke was not Luke, but Obi-Wan got buried by the rocks, and then he got buried by the rocks, just like in the beginning of the series in the first couple of episodes where Obi-Wan's connection with the Force was buried, and then Obi-Wan burst out of the rocks with the rocks flying around him, and he burst out of the rocks stronger than ever. For a second, Darth Vader thought that he had pretty much killed Obi-Wan when he buried him with those rocks. But Obi-Wan burst out of the rocks, more powerful than ever, just like his Force energy, his connection with the Force was buried in the beginning. That's why he couldn't see Qui-Gon, right? His Master Qui-Gon. We end up seeing Master Qui-Gon at the end, which that was a nice placement. This last episode really tied everything up, and it really connected this episode. It was the connection between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. We needed that. That's what this last episode really did. But yeah, I just like the fight, and I like Obi-Wan kicking Darth Vader's butt, even though Darth Vader is my second favorite villain next to the Joker. I like seeing Obi-Wan kick Darth Vader's butt. And it was just interesting how, the Force won. The dark side of the Force, there's a lot to learn from the Force and the dark side of the Force, which the good side of the Force, it forces you to be fearless and to face your problems and to conquer your problems, which will make you stronger in the end. It forces you to be fearless, to take risks, to face your fears, which will make you stronger in the end. Where the dark side of the Force, it forces you to just isolate yourself and put yourself in isolation and and harbor anger and resentment, which in the long run, it doesn't help you. It really makes you weaker. And that's the easier thing to do. It's easy to sit up in isolation, harbor resentment and anger, rather than be fearless, go out and challenge yourself and take risks. So the dark side of the Force doesn't make you stronger. It just makes you weaker in the long run. And I like how if you really look at this situation, you can pull that lesson out of this out of not only this situation but many other Star Wars movies and shows. You know, but Darth Vader, this really, I mean, this show really, I mean, it was done very well, man. It was done just, it was done so well, you know. And wasn't that great seeing Darth Vader's mask bust open and we could see part of Darth Vader's face? Wasn't that great seeing that mask bust open? That was epic. I think the only other time we saw it was in the cartoon in the Rebels, which I've never watched Star Wars Rebels. I gotta check that out. But isn't that great? We got to see a little piece of I think when he bust that mask over, we got a chance to see a little piece of Anakin Skywalker. That, get a good look, folks. That's your last chance that you'll see a piece, any resemblance of Anakin Skywalker. And it was a very important moment because Obi-Wan had been beating himself up for years, thinking that feeling bad for Anakin because he felt that, he was a bad master and he's the reason why Anakin turned over to the dark side. But I'm glad that that moment we were able to see Anakin. Darth Vader said, Obi-Wan, you think you killed Anakin? No, no, no. I killed Anakin. And at that moment, Obi-Wan Kenobi knew that Anakin was gone forever. If you notice, he stopped calling him Anakin and he left Darth Vader to be alone, just like he did in Revenge of the Sith. And he said, see you, Darth. See? So he had fully understand that Anakin's gone. Anakin's not coming back. He apologized. That was nice of him to do. And at that moment when he apologized and you could see Anakin's face through the mask a little bit, that was our last resemblance that was our last chance seeing Anakin, buddy. Anakin's gone. Now this woman here, what's her name? The Chancellor? What's her name? The woman here, what's her name? The Inquisitor right here. Now her scene, I don't know about her scene, man. Like her scene where she went back to Luke. She went back to that planet. What's the name of that planet? Tatooine or whatever. I don't know. But she went back and she was supposed to. Are we really supposed to believe that she was gonna go kill Luke Skywalker? Number one, we know that Luke, he lives on to A New Hope. And her character, she was a Padawan. She was in the Order 66. She was one of those kids in the Jedi Temple back in Order 66 was executed. So we know that that's deep within her, and deep within her, she really wants to kill Darth Vader. So we are to believe that she's going to go, a young girl that was trained to be a Jedi, she was going to go and kill Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader's son. We are to believe that. I'm sorry, I didn't believe it for 1 second. Like, I don't know. I guess it was a part of the story that they just I don't know. They couldn't come up with a better resolution for her character. That's what I think. I think they couldn't come up with a better way to resolve her character. But you know what? Maybe that's just how they wanted it to be. Because guess what? I think we're going to see this character, the Inquisitor. We're going to see her in the Rebels, in some type of Rebels show, whether it's a show or a movie. We're going to see her make an appearance in future Rebels or some type of storyline in something else. I just got a feeling for that. I think that they're planning to put her in something else. That gotta be what they're doing. The little girl that played Layla, wasn't that great at the end where we got to see the little girl playing Layla, Princess Layla? The little girl, she dresses up in her attire that we'll end up seeing her wear In later years when she's a grown woman with her little holster and her little hair braided, and when she got to see Obi-Wan at the end, that was just a great moment. When she got to see Obi-Wan and talk to Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan told her how she had part of her, he could see part of her that she inherited from her mother, and another part of her that she inherited from her father. Oh, that was great, man. That was just a great moment. Shout out to O'Shea Jackson Jr. as he played Roku. That was a good little role for him. Now he's forever a part of the Star Wars franchise. Good little role for him. It was a nice little role. I think we might see Roku. Roku, I'm calling it now. Roku, the Inquisitor woman, and this guy right here, the comedian guy, the comedian guy right here, he played Haja. I think all three of these guys right here, we're going to see them in future Star Wars Rebels shows coming up. I promise you, in that timeline, probably between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, we're going to see them in something. I'm calling it now. Book it, Dano. Okay, and man, what can I say? This just I can't say it enough. This just was a great series, man. This was a great little series, man. It was short to the point. They didn't drag it out. It was just great. We didn't see too much Darth Vader. We didn't see too little Darth Vader. It's very important that they don't oversaturate us with Darth Vader. It was just great, man. We got to see Anakin Skywalker again when they shot a scene where they were fighting each other back in the day. It was just great, man. At the end, when they broke the mask and they forced the guy that played Anakin Skywalker and James Earl Jones' voice in, that was great. They forced those voices together. Thank God James Earl Jones is still alive to do the voice of Lord Vader. I was so glad. Thank you, James Earl Jones, for staying alive. Thank you for staying alive so that we could hear you do the voice of Darth Vader at least one more time. Thank you. That's one of James Earl Jones, they gonna give him credit for a lot of things, but in my book, they gonna give him credit for being King of Zamunda and all that kind of stuff, and that's good and that's nice. But he was born on this earth. He was birthed out of the vessels of his mother to play the role, to do the voice of Lord Vader, Darth Vader. That is his crowning achievement in my book. James Earl Jones. I'm telling you right now. Thank you, James Earl Jones, for staying alive. Thank you. And I'm gonna tell you, man, I gotta go and looking forward. What are they gonna do next with Star Wars? It was just they did a good job with the budget. It's just great. They touched on every little thing, every little nuance. We got to see our old decrepit clone trooper begging for food. We got to see so much. Oh man. If they would have, it was just great, man. They didn't overdo it and put too much in there, like too many Easter eggs. They put just enough in there. And this show was needed. This is just such a good show to bridge the gap between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. We got that. It served its purpose. Great entertainment. I need to go watch The Mandalorian. I watched like the first 2 or 3 episodes of The Mandalorian season 1, but I need to go watch the 2 seasons of The Mandalorian, Boba Fett, and let me see what else they did with these Star Wars. I need to go watch all the cartoons, the Clone Wars, and all the Rebels. I need to watch all that stuff. But just somebody who's followed all the movies. I watched all the movies, Rogue One, all the little special movies. Just somebody who's done that. Man, this was good job, man. If you've been watching this long, I appreciate you. You are a real soldier. You're a real trooper in the rebellion. So make sure you share this, like and subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you next time.